The alarming amount of political spending by right-wing super PACs in the Chamber of Commerce may be getting the attention of voters. It's certainly galvanized at least one key group that is not beholden to a corporation. The American Federation of State, County, and Municipal Employees, with over 1.5 million members, will spend more than $87 million in the midterms, including funds from an emergency account. As noted by the Wall Street Journal, that union becomes the biggest outside spender in the election cycle. The biggest single spender, perhaps. But a network of outside political groups led by Karl Rove is now expected to reach $250 million in its own spending by Election Day, according to MSNBC and NBC News investigative reporter Michael Isikoff. Meantime, we have Karl Rove's quote from 2004, back when billionaire George Soros was funding groups such as America Coming Together and the Media Fund. The quote from Mr. Rove, "I am a firm believer in strong political parties and things that weaken the parties and place the outcome of elections in the hands of billionaires who can write checks and political consultants who can get themselves hired by billionaires who write the checks. Give me some concern." Then, yes, now not so much. Let's bring in the political director of the American Federation of State, County, and Municipal Employees, Larry Scanlon. Mr. Scanlon, thanks for your time tonight.
Thank you for having me on, Keith.
Emergency funds are part of this. Is that because you perceive this as an emergency?
Yes, indeed. We've gone a 2-year budget cycle, and as the cycle proceeded, the landscape sort of worsened dramatically for a lot of our friends, and President McEntee and the leadership of our union said, hey, we need to invest in this election, and that's what we did.
Your organization has even made the choice to support some of the Democrats it once opposed, according to this piece in the Journal. Can you verify that and explain it?
Yeah, it's not so much a matter that we oppose them. We obviously, during the course of the election and legislative session, we tried to move them on legislation, and we were slow to maybe support them earlier in the year. But once we got past Labor Day, and realized that what was at stake was the actual control of the gavel in the House, where you have to have 218 votes. We reassessed our position, and we started to move more resources in terms of cash contributions permissible under the law, staff on the ground in some of these districts. We did a lot of phone and mail to our members. We work within the AFL-CIO labor program, so it's it's kind of an all-hands-on-deck situation.
And to that point, regarding how much money it's coming in from the other end, as that report suggested from Michael Isikoff, perhaps $250 million raised and spent by Karl Rove's outside political groups by the election. There's nothing abstract about this. Assess for us these other organizations that support Republicans who favor policies that would do what to American workers?
Well, here's the deal. We fight in politics to elect the right kinds of people who support working families and workers. And clearly the other side does not share our agenda. So when we listen to John Boehner and Eric Cantor talking about, and Paul Ryan, we have to privatize Social Security. We want to go after defined pensions, which are key to our folks. When they want to roll back health care coverages, that really concerns us. And clearly they're looking to downsize government, cut taxes. That's the services that our members provide. So we made a decision that we had to play heavy. And we looked at what was happening on the other side, and you see them coming in and saying they're going to spend a lot of money in these elections, and there's no disclosure. The Chamber of Commerce can put their name on an ad, and you don't know who's paying for that ad. When AFSCME puts its name on the ad, you know that the 1.6 million members that we have are paying for it, and it averages out to about $28 per year per member that we spend on politics.
Newsweek just released a poll. It came out at dinner time tonight, East Coast time, which suggests is addressing the so-called enthusiasm gap and suggesting that enthusiasm gap is closing. Let me just give you the highlights. The president's approval ratings, 48 approval, 46 disapproval. That was 3 weeks ago, the end of September. Today it's 54 approval, 40 approval. Do you have a sense of how the midterms look, and does that polling jibe with that sense?
It does, Keith. We're seeing more enthusiasm on the ground. In fact, it's beyond enthusiasm. It's anger. Our members and other labor movement members, when they're reading about what the Republicans want to do, and they certainly have some crazy right-wing candidates this year, they're fired up. They're volunteering to get on the doors, to make phone calls. And so what we're seeing is, as we do our polling, that there's an uptick or a spike in terms of union members sort of coming home to our endorsed candidates, definitely.
Did that just happen? Is that a recent phenomenon of the last 3 weeks?
I would say it's over actually probably the last 4 to 6 weeks.
And I imagine you're pleased with that.
We're working hard to make it happen.
Larry Scanlon, the political director of AFSCME, the American Federation of State, County, and Municipal Employees. Thank you kindly for your time on a Friday night. Have a good weekend.
Thanks. You too, Keith.